friends, and welcome to Shine with Marilena Cortez and Mark Sedgwick. Today we have a very, very special guest, Miss Tina Wilson. She's the Wheelchair, Texas 2012.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, how are you?
We're doing well.
Fabulous.
We're excited. Now that we're here, we're excited to finally interview you. It's been a long time awaiting, as we've spoken before.
Yes.
We've been wanting to do this podcast, to be honest, for a couple of years now. So we're excited to finally have you on the show.
Yeah.
And everything happens for a reason. Maybe there was a reason why we weren't supposed to interview you back then. Today is the day, and you're here to also share with us your story and your survival during these hard moments in 2020.
Beautiful. Really quick, I want to share a quote.
Okay.
Before we get to your awesome quote, I have a quote that I want to say.
Oh,
The best day to start is today, right?
mm-hmm.
That's the best day. Oh, actually, that's second place. Did you know that the second place is today?
Okay.
And the best day would have been yesterday, because then you would have had a head start. But the best day to start is the second best day is today. So we got to start today.
Well,
right?
Today is the tomorrow that we were looking for yesterday.
That's
Hey,
right.
wow,
That's
that's
right.
philosophical
I
right
love
there.
it,
I like
love
that.
it.
Okay. Well, hey, let's go ahead and keep it going. I want to hear a little bit about your story, a little bit about who Miss Tina is.
My name is Tina Williams, and basically I was born and raised in Houston, and I met Maria Elena at Mocha through Mocha.
Through Mocha.
That's
yes.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. I volunteered, and then I ended up the volunteer coordinator for our different events.
Mm.
Yes.
Before that, I did a lot of just odd jobs, a lot of telemarketing, pretty much.
But you know what it seems like though? Like it's not seemed like. You know what it is? I've seen you be a community leader. You know, I've been watching as a kid from afar. You know, me and my brother Jelani. Shout out to you, brother, out there. Shout out to Rhonda, Mr. and Mrs. Adams. Shout out to you guys, because they, they're talk about Mocha. They were the leaders of that, right? And you were also a part of that. But yeah, watching from afar and watching your social media over the years, I've noticed, wow, Miss Tina is a light in the world. And this is why we want to interview you, Miss Tina, and talking about this present moment is probably, it is. I got to keep saying it is. I can't say probably, I can't doubt. This is the right moment to interview you, because you have been going through a lot of things during 2020 that you have overcome, and you have a unique insight and perspective that we want to dive into. So can you go ahead and tell us a little bit about it?
Share her story about who she is, and you already kind of share how we met.
Right.
It was super powerful. We immediately clicked.
Yes, we did.
We became like sisters. I love her to death, and I, like Mark said, you're a great community leader. But tell us a little bit about your background too. Who is Miss Tina?
Just an ordinary person. I just sit down.
No, you're very active.
Growing up, I was able-bodied, and when I started to have children, my children took the nutrients from my body, and so it affected me in a degenerative way.
Mm-hmm.
So I lost my ability to stand for a long time. I would fall or what have you. But no matter what you're going through, the light company still wants you to pay them for the light. The phone company still wants their money for the phone, and rent still have to be paid. Yes. And my dad always said, if you don't work, you don't eat. Yeah. So even as a kid, you don't do your chores, you couldn't put your feet under his table at all, period. Yes. I learned when I was 9. Mm-hmm. And I didn't do my chores that day. And my work was undone. And when dinner time came around, Dad said, no, you're not going to eat my food. You didn't do your work. So I had to leave out while everybody else ate dinner, and then come back and wash the dinner dishes. But I didn't even get to eat. Well, it's a learning experience. Because sometimes we think we're too good or
entitled.
Well, my entitlement went that day. Wow. And so I learned from that I had to work. And I've always worked because my daddy said, you don't work, you don't eat. So I like to eat. So I had to like to work.
Yeah, and hey, at a certain point, talk about the biblical quote of the day
The
is,
biblical quote, let me read it for you.
let's hear it, because it ties perfectly well with this disciplinary story. You know, sometimes we must go through these things.
I have fed you with milk and not with meat. For hitherto you were not able to bear it, neither yet are you now able. You're not even ready. You're not ready for the meat.
And that came from the book of Corinthians.
That's Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 3 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically to help you to prepare, because we are not prepared.
Why are we not prepared?
Exactly. Good question.
That's what we got to talk about.
That's what we got to talk about.
Yeah, what stops you from going to the next level, the next step? And it's kind of preparing you to be mature. It's part of the maturity. A lot of people stay as little kids, as children, depending on their mom or their dad or on society, you know, or on the government, you know.
Yeah.
You got to step out too sometimes, you know, and say, hey, this is it. I've had my help. I got to now become independent and take care of myself.
But not only that, you have to learn to depend on yourself. Because at a point, mom's not going to be there anymore. Dad's not going to be there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
In some situations in life, you end up and it's just you and the Father.
Exactly. Yes.
And the strength he gave you.
Exactly.
And the wisdom he gave you, right?
But that's the day you need to be off the milk.
Yeah. And go hunt.
And go hunt and get that meat.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a serious message. I love that.
I know,
That's
and
good.
it makes you stop and say, "What? What are they talking about?" It really makes you stop and think.
Right.
Well,
And where are you in your life as well? But one of the things I admire about you, every time I call you, you always say, "I am doing still winning," and I love that attitude, that winner attitude. That no matter what, she always responds that way, and that's part of your light. You sharing the light, because when I hear you say that, I immediately like, wow, she's winning, you know? It puts me on a different level too when I talk to you. I remember the year you got sick and I went to a hospital to see you, and I was like choked up. I was like, oh, I want to go see her, but I don't know, you know, what am I going to tell her? But I went and I left with so much energy. You gave me so much energy despite you being there at the hospital. I left with so much energy, and little did I know later I was going to get some bad news about having cancer.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So your words that day helped me a few weeks later. Isn't that powerful? How God works?
I never knew that.
Yes. No, that was amazing. And
but we had a good time at the hospital.
We did. We laughed. And
isn't it the weirdest thing that you can have the best of times in the most randomest? You know, it doesn't even have to correlate the you know, wherever you are, it's about the people you're with. To me, you know, that's what's more important. That really creates your experience of life.
It is what you make it, though.
Life is what you make it. I'm always saying that.
Who are you with? What's your mentality?
Yes.
What's your perspective? Who are you helping?
What's your angle?
Yeah.
What's your goal? What's your delivery?
Oh, that's big.
Oh yeah, elaborate on that. That's
your
super
goals,
powerful.
your dreams, your passions. What is it?
Because sometimes when you're talking to people, even if you just shooting the breeze or what have you, what is the goal? What is it that you want a person to take away when they walk away from you? And for me, it's important when people walk away from me that number one, they enjoy the conversation.
Okay, yeah, that's big.
Number two, they can take that they can trust me.
Mm-hmm.
Because trust is important to me. Number three, that they would be comfortable with conversating with me again. And it's a happy experience.
Beautiful.
Even in a bad time, it's still, I'm not one to tear somebody down.
No.
Just to make yourself feel bigger, maybe.
I love her energy because you always seem, even at the gatherings that we, whenever we got together with the other women, and she always attracts like these powerful spirits. You do. And I never forget when we did Tea with the Queens. You brought us this little diamonds, remember? Yeah. And share with you, why did you share this? This was like, I still have my diamond. And you said to shine always like a diamond.
Shine like a diamond.
Tell us about what inspired you to do that, and when made you take these diamonds to the
Well, a lot of times people don't realize what they mean to other people. However, but with women, we will help everybody else before we help ourselves. We'll do without just to make sure
Yeah.
that we don't that someone else doesn't do without. And it's a woman thing. And one day I had this big knot on my neck,
Mm-hmm.
and I passed by this place, Massage Envy, and they were having a special, and I went in, and the lady goes to massage my shoulder for me, this big knot, and she says, "Oh my goodness," she said, "this is huge." And as she's massaging me, she said, "You do a lot." I said, "Yes, ma'am, I do." And as she's massaging me, she says, "Oh, you do a lot." And I was like, "Okay." She said, "Women, we do this, and we carry the weight of the world on our shoulder."
Oh yeah.
I was like,
Literally.
wow.
It's like, ah, yeah.
Yeah, I was packing this big knot just from everything that I do, So I'm like, wow. So you have to learn how to not carry it. It's like a waiter doing this all day long.
Yeah, how do you, to provide some value to the folks at home, how have you made that transition to maybe take some of that weight off and allow the world or have faith, these kinds of things? To me, that's my answer is faith, right?
My answer is always faith. But for sometimes with people, you get in between believing and knowing.
Mm-hmm.
And I am beyond belief. For example, let me ask you, what is your name?
Mark.
Do you believe that's your name?
Yes, my mother and father named me this.
And that's your belief.
Yes.
So why do you believe this?
Because I was told as a child by my mother and father that was the case.
So at what point do you stop believing and know that your name is Mark?
Well, I mean, we can get into the philosophical there. That's
no,
very...
but I'm asking.
Oh, I guess...
Because you don't have to believe.
Oh, yeah, I could change my name, right?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh, what are you saying?
You don't have to take the time and energy to believe that your name is Mark, because you already know.
You just know it.
Oh, okay, it's just second nature.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
like...
powerful though,
you
because
go.
a lot of people just go in life believing something, but
Oh,
when they know it,
okay, yeah.
it's like you just like, what's the word? It rings on your head,
Perception.
and you are 100% confident
Wow.
and walking a life with confidence versus,
Yeah.
I believe because somebody told me.
Hey, I mean, I don't know if I've done it a couple times in the podcast where I'm correcting myself. Maybe we should do, or maybe this is the case. And then I'm like, wait, correct, it is the case, right?
Yes.
Ain't
And
that
then
the
when
truth?
you know.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
powerful though.
These kinds of things reflect in our self-belief,
Right.
our self-esteem,
Right.
our self-confidence,
Right.
our self-control. The list can go on, right? I'm writing a book about this stuff, so this is why I have all these little concepts in my head. But, right, this is huge. If we believe that we are capable, if we believe that life is going to be better in 2021, if we believe that we are walking a divine path,
Okay.
not just coasting through life and hoping for the best, but actually believing, truly believing that there is better to come, then it will come. Or at least we can be in a better state of mind. Yeah, I see. There could be some delusion there, right? I guess. Yeah. Talk to
I'm
me.
beyond belief.
Talk to me about it. Yeah.
I'm beyond belief. I am. Like if you plant a seed in the ground
Mm-hmm.
and you nurture it,
Yeah.
you water it,
Yeah. Yeah.
you don't believe it's going to grow. You know it's going to grow.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah. So that's okay. Yeah, that's good.
And so
That is
for
so
me, I believe in the God kind of math.
Actions have to come with the belief, maybe.
No, but listen to what she said. The math,
The
God's
math.
math.
God's
Yeah.
math. God's math is not like our math.
Educate me.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready. I'm waiting on it.
Okay,
They're
he
ready too.
says- Okay. It says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will a man give unto your bosom." But within the same measure you meet with all, it shall be given back unto you again. So, the example that my aunt gave me as a kid, if you had 2 hands full of coins.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, you got, close your hands.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Now, somebody else walks up to give you $1 million. You can't receive it because your hands are covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't even get the $1 million. However, if I take my closed hand full of coins and give it to you, here you go.
Thank you.
I got room to get my $1 million.
Oh, wow, that's big.
Okay, but now the Bible says, "For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son," meaning one.
Yeah.
Okay, imagine He gave up His one Son as a sacrifice for the whole world. But when He gave up His one Son, look how many followers we are. The math.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, now this is my final example.
The message of giving, isn't it?
But the math is, the way God blesses you is different from the way we bless one another. God will give you an orange seed. Okay? And this is the way God's blessings work. You plant that orange seed. You nurture it, you water it, you protect it as it grows. Okay?
Yeah.
One seed. This tree grows. Okay? You don't just get one orange.
No, you get abundance.
You get a tree.
Whoa.
Abundance.
Then guess what else happens? Each one of those oranges have seeds. You didn't get the one seed back that you planted.
Wow.
You have an overextend. He said, exceeding abundantly above all.
Yeah, abundance.
If you got 1 million oranges on your tree, you're looking at the 1 million oranges or the potential from the seeds from all of those oranges.
Yeah.
And I see that. I love that concept because, I always tell people, share your gifts. Share the gifts like I gave you. It's part of that math. God gives us these gifts, right? But it's not for us to keep and hold it in our closed hands and say, mine. It's for us to pass it on, share our gifts, and share it with the world.
Yeah.
Same thing with the light. God gave us that light to shine. God, we are children of God. Right?
So, hey, this is the whole message.
It's so beautiful.
It all comes full circle. I love to hear it because it's honestly reassuring in a way because me and my mom are trying to find every possible way that we are passionate, like you did say whenever you're having a conversation, you want it to be enjoyable, you want it to have this, but also for me too, with the passionate projects that I want it to be enjoyable for myself and the people I'm doing it with, or I'm sharing it too, right? So I'm trying to make this podcast enjoyable, but also come with some value, right? Some stories.
And a great takeaway.
Yeah, great takeaway.
Not only that, to make a person want to come back and see what you're doing next.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, hey, why don't we take this time to declare some stuff, guys? It's 2021, baby. Let's talk about some declarations. Look, so listen here. Look, so this is the truth. We're gonna have something big coming soon. Can I say it? Why not? Okay, look, we're here. So look, we're gonna be having in the next 6 months to a year. We will have planned out something called the Shine Conference.
Awesome.
Where we're gonna have speakers like Miss Tina.
Like Miss Tina. So we're declaring it to the universe. You will be one of our guest speakers.
I'm here. Let's roll. So look, we're gonna have people like Miss Tina. Like I can name other names, but I'm gonna keep those a secret until we have we have the checks.
And many of you have already been part of our special guests, so
absolutely.
Hint.
So hey, people, yeah, exactly right. People who we've already interviewed on the Shine podcast who are still shining in their communities, working on their crafts, mastering their crafts to share with the world, right? People who are shining their light. If you're not shining, we're ready to teach you how to shine.
We got this whole make them turn the light on.
Yeah, we need a spark out here, don't we? We need a spark out here. It's 2021. So what I'm saying is Shine Conference.
Yes.
We got books we want to publish.
Yes.
We got music we want to create.
Yes.
We got presentations to be done. I'm trying to learn how to DJ. I had my first lesson yesterday.
What?
That's what I'm doing. So hey, I'm gonna learn it. We're gonna figure it out. So Miss Tina, what do you declare for 2021?
For 2021, I am going to change the world. One of the things that I'm doing right now, I'm into financial services.
Okay.
As a kid, we didn't have much. So when you had money, you didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Wow.
for me, as I became an adult, I was so happy to have money that I spent it
Mm-hmm.
just to say that I had it.
Well, almost to maybe to enjoy it, but also to maybe cover up some insecurities because people just to get a portrayal to other people externally.
Well, no,
maybe,
it was not so much to portray to anyone.
I'm just saying that's a trap people fall into, though.
I understand.
Yeah.
But not to portray to anyone. Hey, they're doing an interview. Not to portray to anyone.
Come on through, buddy.
Come on.
Yeah.
Not to portray to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always been taught when you do something to look the part.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that I looked the part.
Act as if so you can become.
Pretty much.
Right? Yeah.
But to look like you are what you say you are.
Okay,
to
yeah,
represent.
Yeah.
But basically for me, I didn't understand the concept of saving. I didn't understand a lot of concepts. And so when 2020 rolls around, you got all these people who are dying. And the sad part about it is in our community, people are living like the Joneses or living their life for someone else to see. We pay $5 for a cup of coffee or $200 for a pair of sneakers. Then you get around the corner and somebody takes the sneakers and kills the kid, then we're having a GoFundMe. Because our priorities are not in order. So we don't know to prepare for our future. So my goal is to change the way people think about our realities. Everybody that lives is going to die.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, that's the reality.
So the same monies that you spent to put those $200 sneakers is $200 that you could have put in the life insurance for your kid. Kids are being killed just as fast as the adults are being killed.
Sure.
So we have to prepare.
Sure. I mean, yeah. Let me add a couple things in there, if you mind,
Yeah.
if that's okay. I think also it's important to say not only for those reasons, but also to invest in your business,
Right, exactly.
to invest in what you want to grow.
And retirement.
Sure, retirement. You know, I'm super young. Maybe I should be thinking of these things, right? But
You should, yes.
you know, I'm so early in the
gotcha.
process, though, Miss Tina. I'm thinking like retirement. This $1,000 I just got, I gotta buy a camera. I gotta buy equipment to make this bigger. You know, I gotta invest it into my business. You know.
Yeah, I understand
Right.
that. But 10 years from now, that $1,000 camera is going to be irrelevant.
It will be. Yeah. So maybe don't buy. I have a cell phone. You know, maybe I don't need a camera.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what have you spent a whole $1,000? And I don't have anything against spending all your money on a camera.
Yeah.
But what are you doing for your future?
Yeah.
We have to prepare like the ants.
Yes.
They pack up like the squirrels. They prepare.
Beautiful.
And the example, there are examples that God has set for us to watch.
Yeah.
You see the ants working all day long. Then you see the squirrels packing up their nuts and going on. You know, we have to learn from this example.
Teamwork.
Yeah,
Yes.
At its
and
finest.
you know what? I love when people become money smart
Yes.
Financial smart. Yeah.
or financially, smarter, and learn to keep a balance. You can't spend all your money on one thing or two things.
Exactly.
You have to take a percentage. God even gave us a formula, right?
Did
There's
he?
in the Bible.
Did he? Yeah.
It's like set a money aside for the things that
For the rainy days, maybe. Right.
yeah, that when you need it, you gotta save up. And so I love that you're doing that. I love that you want to change the world by doing that.
Yeah,
I think
I just want to help people
That's needed. That's
to
needed.
recognize the importance
Yes.
of
Yeah.
preparing for your future, preparing for retirement.
Yes.
Every day we're getting older.
Yeah, yeah. Well, look, Miss Tina, I like to call myself. I don't like to call myself. I've been called. No, I don't know. I don't know how to not sound arrogant when saying this, but I study greatness and I study success, so I can become successful, and so I can share the light with the people of how to become
Right.
successful.
Right.
So I was dissecting what you were saying, and you said basically what you said in a small quote is be resourceful with what you have.
Right.
And what you get with your actions, you make a little money. Be resourceful
Right.
with that, so that your future self can get the fruits, right, of investment, of financial intelligence.
It's the orange seed all over again.
Right?
Yeah.
You plant these seeds, and they blossom so much
And
bigger
going
if you
back to the
give it
quote
some water.
about not always continuing to drink the milk.
Yep.
Mm.
It's part of maturity. It's part of growing up. You know,
Wow.
to be financially
Intelligent.
Literate.
Oh, literate. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
and be money smart. Really, that's what it boils down to. And God
Yeah.
gave us that intelligence. God has guided us to how to do it, but sometimes we don't listen,
Right.
or we're too stingy, or we're like, no, I want it all now, and so we invest it all. You know.
Well, that's why I'm
So-
here to say, hey, let me help you. Hey, let me help you.
Mm.
I know, yeah.
Love.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's like a Christmas when your kids are small and you spend all this money for Christmas toys or what have you, and they play with the box.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're like, the gift was over here, but they're over there.
They
Yeah.
play with the boxes.
My kids used to play with the bows. The bows. My daughter used to make all this decor with all the bows,
Exactly.
and the gifts would be set there after 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Kids can definitely be resourceful.
Yeah.
They might just come through nature like that, right? Just
But
through.
you can train. The Bible says, train up a child as they should go, and when they're old, it will not depart.
Beautiful.
So if you teach that child while they're small how to handle money,
Mm.
how to interact with money, how to make money financial decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to not be afraid, we were talking about this in the generational patterns episode,
Yeah.
where we might be planting seeds of fear with our children,
Yeah.
where we're, be careful there, be careful, whoa.
Yeah.
Wait, hold
Because that's what your mother did or your father did.
Yeah, and then the kids
So-
are paying attention, so they grow up with fear like, whoa. They might be a little over fearful when in reality they shouldn't be afraid of that.
Right.
And
They
that's
should
why
be
those are the
confident.
patterns that we should break.
Exactly.
There's some beautiful patterns that we can get from parents.
Absolutely.
Like learning how to save or learning how to love and interact and share. But sometimes if you are not that lucky to have the positive patterns that you want to inherit from your family, then break them like change. Just break out of that and start your own generational patterns that are beautiful and productive
Indeed.
and positive, right?
Yeah. Study smart people. Study people who are doing it right. Study people who you admire. What are they doing? Are they being
So
resourceful?
because
Are
they do it, does that make it right?
No, but you can learn a
Or
thing or two.
different? Or different?
Yeah. Okay, that's a good point. Yeah, some things some people are doing doesn't fit your life,
Right.
right? So we have to, maybe if you're in this stage of life or this perspective or this kind of environment, it's not going to be the same as the guy who lives across the world.
Right.
It's not going to be the same success principles, maybe.
Right.
But good is good, though. Let's be
Right.
real, though.
Right.
Good is good.
Right.
It is good to be good anywhere. In Africa and U.S. and China, everywhere. Good is good.
Yeah, these are principles that we're talking about that apply to any race, any country, any culture. Really, like
Money
just
is
basic.
money. It's all the same.
yeah.
You still have to buy bread. You have to eat.
Yes.
You still have to have water, lights,
The
utilities.
basic supplies.
Right.
Yes.
But then sometimes every time you have to prepare for later. A little nest egg,
Mhm.
a little bit. And different cultures do things differently,
Yeah. Yeah, but we should also be be careful not to be. I always say, and I'll say it 100 times, is do not be afraid, but be aware
I
instead.
agree.
Right? So let's be aware that we should save, but not oversave because we're afraid of what's to come. And
Exactly.
we have to also think abundantly, as we've mentioned already. Let's
Balance.
think
You
abundance.
gotta balance things out. You
Yes,
can't
balance.
Ever, yeah, because then people go to one extreme or the other.
Sure,
and
sure.
it's unhealthy either way.
Sure,
Also
sure.
doing too much good, is not healthy in a way,
Mm.
because there's gonna be people that are gonna take advantage of you. So it's like you gotta learn when to stop. Also, you know,
I had
Miss
a,
Tina, because you've been through also
Yeah.
some stories where you probably could share some
I
stories.
had a friend that said, "Don't be so heavenly minded that you're now earthly good."
Yeah,
Mm.
that's powerful.
Yeah.
You know, and I have friends that they've been taken advantage of
Yeah.
because of their generosity.
Yeah.
And because they're trying so hard that they don't pay attention sometimes to people who are using them, or they're just
Big.
But it's the way that
Making
they
you feel
receive
bad.
it.
Yeah,
You know, sometimes we get caught up because this is my loved one or because this is my friend. And we think that you can extend the same care and love to this person that you can to that person, and you're not familiar with their reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
somebody might see you as a loving, friendly, kind person, but somebody else can see you. Oh wow, she loving, free, and kind. So she'll be an easy mark.
yes,
You
and then
know.
people abuse you for that.
Exactly.
And I mean, I can tell you lots of stories in 2020 because I was on my good mode, giving personality that I love to highlight because that's who I am. But I also had to learn to stop,
Right.
let go of some friends that I needed to let go,
Right.
let go of some people that I loved and adored, but they ended up taking advantage of my generosity.
Right.
So you have to be careful, and again, it comes down to balancing things out and being smart and paying attention to those details that sometimes we ignore because we lower our values to be loved, or we
Right.
lower our standards to fit in
Right.
to a group, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those are the other things that I think a lot of people took advantage in 2020.
Yeah.
And then there's people that pretended to need the government and abused it. There's some people
Sure.
that lied about things for businesses. So you gotta be careful. You
Yeah.
gotta be careful. I love God's math and God's way of the way everything happens. His plans are always better than ours.
Indeed.
Right? And
Indeed.
so sometimes you want to go in this path, but he says, nope, this is better for you over here. And we don't want to go that way, but
Right.
that's for our best.
Yeah.
So with this Shine podcast, we hope that we are inspiring you to continue to be a light. Before we go, I would like to ask Tina, if there's anything else you want to share with us about sharing your light and how do you keep that positive energy? Because I know you went through a very tough 2020. You lost a lot of people that you loved. And if you want to share it, you can. But what is your final message and encouragement for this new year? It's a new beginning.
For 2021, for me, just not look at the circumstances around you. I heard it said, a story about Noah. And as Noah was building the ark, because he was following the instructions, people were calling him crazy or having different comments or what have you. But he continued to build. He continued to build. And they continued to make fun of him over and over. He's doing what he was instructed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But now, after it started raining, it wasn't crazy no more.
No, people were knocking, trying to see if they can come in.
Exactly.
Yeah, so if you know you're doing the right thing, continue to do it. Despite the negativity, despite even the bad comments, the haters.
Despite even what your parents may be telling you, because sometimes I feel like our parents can hold us back or say, hey, maybe be a little too cautious. Hey, be careful. Maybe you should do this. Maybe you should stay in that job. Well, I'm here to tell you as a youngster, maybe you should stay in the job. Maybe your parents are right, but at the same time, be skeptical. Maybe there's another light that's calling your name that you should be following. Another more righteous path that fits you better, right? Maybe you shouldn't be suffering anymore. I don't think it's a time for suffering. I think it's a time for new chapters, new beginnings,
Indeed.
a life of abundance. We got to strive for it, though, and we have to know that it's possible. We can't just believe that it's possible now.
Indeed.
We have to know that it's possible so we can take the necessary steps up that mountain to eventually be at the top and to be able to see sunrises and sunsets and enjoy the beauties of life.
So let's start now, and we'll plant the seed of 2021. We'll plant the seed right at this moment and declare 2021 is going to be our greatest year ever.
Ever.
That's right.
Ever.
Ever.
Declare it and just do it. Despite of whatever your parents or anybody, any friends might tell you, go with your heart, but mainly hold God's hand and let Him guide you through this journey called life.
Yes.
So,
I got one more thing. I have to add
anything
on.
else?
This is such a great conversation here. Carry momentum. Start momentum. You feel an urge to work out. Do 10 push-ups. Drop and give yourself 10 push-ups right now. Prove to yourself that you care about your dreams, that you care about your goals. Prove to yourself. You want to start eating healthy? Do it now. Commit now. Figure the rest out later, but commit now.
Yeah.
Now's the time to start, guys. 2021, we're only getting older. It's time to take action now.
That's right.
We only got a
Let's
finite
do
time
it.
here, don't we?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. It's time.
No excuses.
No excuses.
Today starts today.
That's right. So continue to be a light in the world. Keep shining. Like I said, in the darkest moments of our lives, our own inner light that God gives us will show us the right way and will continue to open those doors for us. So until then, we'll see you next time. And thank you again for joining us. Miss Tina, it's always a pleasure. I love you so much. So we'll see you guys. Be blessed.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Adios, guys.
Adios.